This is my first time using.
All right, well, we getting it started now with the family with Uncle Lloyd. Trying to think what with this interview probably three or four with us. We got a nice little series going for the Milburn family, and Uncle Lloyd was able to get on that phone and get his own Zoom working. So it's good to have you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing well, Justin. Thank God. I'm up and about and know who I am and where I am. That's kind of an important thing I say every morning. Okay, but
Oh, I like that.
I'm
What you
doing
say?
I'm doing well, thanks to God. I'm good health so far, thank God, and they're taking good care of me here, which um, I'm sincerely appreciated. For one, my daughter establishing this place for me, and my getting set up here, and the kind of care that the what they call themselves care partners, and
Yeah,
then this full staff do for me. So it's a great place to be in. Okay.
nice. Got some good food over there. I can imagine.
Yes. Oh yes. Plenty of good food.
Nice, nice. Well,
Yeah.
right now we're in.
Even some of that Creole Cajun food from time to time.
Oh, really? Wow, that's surprising.
Oh yes.
That sounds really good. So shout out to all
Yeah.
the family in Louisiana. And today's date is June the 3rd, 2025. And so we had some people had some questions that they wanted to ask. And so
Okay.
and question that I see here, the conversation today will allow you to share what you want to share with the family, with the Milburn family. And the first question they had is, I would like to ask you to share with the family the story regarding the Cadillac that uh, my great grandpa Rodney said that he would buy for you.
Well, your grandfather Rodney, uh, he worked on the farm with us on Tish. He was one of those uh, paid farmers to work with my family in the harvesting of all of our farm crops. Okay, he was on my dad's payroll to help, but to picking cotton mainly and picking digging potatoes and all that other good stuff. But anyway, picking cotton was one of those things that I really did not like to do because it was so hot out there, and he encouraged me to come on pick some cotton with him, and I would pick maybe 10 or 15 pounds of cotton. They said, no, 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 you got to pick 100 pounds of cotton. So he put me on the road next on the other side of the road that he was picking on. And had me picking to keep up with him. And then he would tell me little stories about things like, okay, come on, I want you to pick more cotton. And I want you to pick more cotton because, Papa's going to pay us, okay, if we pick 100 pounds of cotton a day. So I said, all right, I'll try and pick. And said, and furthermore, I know you're trying to drive a car, drive a truck. He said, but I tell you what, if you get 100 pounds of cotton, I'm going to buy me a Cadillac and I'm going to let you drive it. I said, oh, boys. And he let me drive the truck and me driving a Cadillac. Oh, so I grabbed more cotton. I don't know if I got to 100 pounds, but later on in life, I told that story. I think it was at his interment. And the minister at the time when I told that story about him getting me to pick 100 pounds of cotton and he was going to buy me a Cadillac, the minister said, he said, no, Lord. He said, what he meant was, if you work hard enough, you can buy your own Cadillac. So,
On
okay,
the
I took
deal,
it.
he said.
Yeah, I took him at his word. Well, I didn't buy me a Cadillac. I bought two Cadillacs for my wife.
Nice, 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 nice. That's it.
Yeah, I worked hard enough, but I was a kind of a Buick freak. So I like Buicks, so I kept buying me a Buick. But my wife got two Cadillacs. But you work hard enough, as your grandpa told me, work hard enough, and you make enough money to buy your own damn Cadillac.
That's funny. Yeah. And my grandmother, she liked them Buick too. She had that Buick Roadmaster. So they rode so
Yeah,
smooth. Yeah, with the Cadillac in, I mean with the
yeah,
Corvette.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
good.
and Sister Louise, I called her my Sister Louise. Okay, your grandmother, I think. Yeah. Well, Sister Louise was
Mhm.
one of my staunchest supporters also. I just loved her because she took care of me when I was a young kid. Okay, but seeing your grandpa lived with us for a short period of time in a big house. Okay, and I was her little boy for a while.
Wow.
I think until Wilford came along. But anyway, but I was her little boy, and she treated me just like I was her little kid. Okay, so and I said, Sister Louise was always a memorable person to me, and she had such a great memory that I would go to her and ask her for information about things. Yeah? So both your grandfather and grandmother played an important part in my life as a kid growing up, and even as an adult. I think about what they told me how to do it and did it right.
Yes,
Okay?
yes. Nice, nice. Yes.
Okay. I hope I haven't talked too much about the same subject, but go ahead.
No,
I'm listening. If you have another
that was
question,
good. I remember everybody remember Grandma Louise used to make them eat baby food.
yeah.
They gonna remember that. Yep.
Okay.
And now the second question they have is, I know you had a great relationship, with your mother and everybody. When we say Grandma Louise, everybody would say my grandmother Louise, or my,
Yeah.
you know, and
My
my
mama. Yeah.
yeah. And so, like everyone in the family, they identified them as their own. So how do you guys identify with your mom and dad? Growing up with having so many, siblings.
Well, you see, being the youngest of all those 14, I said my mother was kind of a stalwart in the family, and all of her her son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws had great respect for her, and they would call her Miss Alma or Mama Alma, okay, Miss Alma, and some of them call her Mama, okay, because she felt that she was their not just a mother-in-law, but she was their mother in case they needed to come to her for motherly advice, and
Yeah.
so that was the relationship in the whole Milburn family. All of my sister-in-laws, from your Uncle Earl down to my brother Sidney's, uh, respect for my mother, okay, it was just insurmountable. They treated her like they would have treated their own mother, okay, because they would come to her to learn how to cook certain foods, okay. That, that called interruption.
Oh, look like
Let it go to the answer system.
somebody called. I think we gotta push
Oh,
the camera back. Let's see.
are you still there?
Okay, yeah, I hear you fine. Looks like the camera's not. Oh, there you go. Wait a minute. Let me see. I
Uh,
think it's coming back.
okay, are you still there? Okay,
There
good.
you
Go
go.
ahead.
Yeah.
No, it was an incoming call. I'll call her back later on. No, but back to the relationship between
Got the hotline.
my all my brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws. They all had great respect for my mother and my dad too, because my dad died when I was young, I was 12 years old in 1942. But anyway, all of those in-laws and brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws had a lot of respect for mom and papa, as they call them.
Mhm.
Okay? Mama and papa.
Mama
Okay?
and Papa. Okay, Mama and Papa. So that's how
Okay.
you would identify that. Mama and Papa.
Okay. I said, and they would come to my mother and ask for advice about how to cook certain things. Okay. Uh, and so my mother was always proud of being a great cook. And she would teach them and tell them about, okay, you got to put so much of this in this, you got to put so much of that in that, and don't use too much salt. Okay. But anyway, uh, I remember being in the kitchen, looking at her cooking and watching her cook and how to make gumbo and all that good stuff. Right? So, but I said there was just a very, very close relationship with the son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws, okay, in our family. And I'm sure they passed that on because, okay, when they had grown children and okay, and became um, that father-in-law and mother-in-law. I'm sure they extended that kind of a relationship, okay, like to your dad, okay, and other than coming into the family, because well, you now know that the Milburn family was a very close-knit family. Okay, we believe in family principles. Okay, if your family member, if your name is Milburn, you got to be, you got to either be a Milburn or act like one.
Yeah, that's it.
And,
That's it.
and my grandfather, okay, said this place. He said, if you got two bloods of Milburn blood in you, you're a Milburn.
I like that. I like that. I
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions, Justin?
I think that's going to be all the ones we got listed. I would just say any last words or anything you'd like to say to the family. I know you got another interview set up. So, what's some words you'd like to say to the family out there that's going to be tuning in?
I'm sorry.
What's some last words you'd like to say to the family that's going to be tuning in? I know you got another interview coming up. What's some last
Yeah.
words you'd like to say to the family?
Oh, okay. My last my word of this conversation with the family, and I hope when you get together, okay, like a family, a small family reunion or a large family reunion, okay, that your family love, okay, is one of the most important things. Okay, you love each other, respect each other, and take care of each other, and show the love for your family members. Okay, as brothers and sisters, cousins. Okay, and anybody related to you, the in-laws who come into the Milburn family are all treated with love and respect. Okay, and that will get you the very best. Okay, in return. Okay, show love and respect. Okay, and that's very important. And this I've done all of my life. Okay, shown love and respect for people who have been part of my life. And I when I because I'm still a person of faith. I believe in the God and Jesus Christ and all. And I'm a good Christian person, and I go to church so somehow every Sunday, even if I got to do it online or on TV. But I do participate by observing or being in church services. And I believe in there's one God, okay, and a Jesus Christ who serve us all. So I practice my principles of religion and Christianity. And when I say my prayers, I start by, okay, wishing my best for all of my family and all of my relatives and whatnot. And of course, myself included, and all of my nieces and nephews and cousins out there by the hundreds, okay? And I said, and all of those other people in my life, okay, who've touched my life in some way, and I have a magic number that I use. I say all of those 8,982 others. So that number include all of those other folks who've been part of my life. So some of those nieces and nephews out there and cousins whose names I don't remember are all included in that number. Okay. So remember that number.
I like that.
8,982 people who've touched my life. And I'm sure all of my cousins, nieces, nephews have had somebody playing an important role in their lives, okay, in making them who they became. Because, my mother had a basic philosophy that she said to us as kids, you know, go to school and study a lesson so you can learn how to be somebody. And I'm so proud of how this has been kind of like a challenge or motto or initiative. I mean, a means for all of my nieces and nephews out there whom I hear about, who have become very competent people in the industry, being lawyers, doctors, mechanics, managers of big things, ministers. I just thank God for when I heard about those young men who become, or young ladies who become ministers nowadays. But okay, I understand. Uncle Wolfert's son is not a minister. Okay, okay, but there are many, many other ministers, doctors, lawyers. Okay, out there who are all part of that Milburn group of people out there who become very, very important people, like you, Justin. See, okay, you're in demand because of your technical service, your responsibilities, and what you have made of yourself. So
Thank
you're
you.
part of that. You went to school, studied your lesson to learn how to be somebody. So you too are counted among those hundreds of Milburn connected people who become somebody. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I'm so proud when I hear about that. It makes me feel so good being your whatever great uncle I am
Yep.
to
Yep. Great
hear that.
uncle.
Okay, okay, that my nieces and nephews out there, my cousins even, okay, who have done the same. But my mom said, go to school, study your lesson so you can learn how to be somebody. Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you, all of you, for doing that to make me so proud of you, okay, at this point in time in my life. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you so much. And we really appreciate the time. I'm going to stop the recording and we're going to upload this here.